Hello, I am Daniel Lewis, and today I want to apologize for what I said last week. I did not mean that I don't watch YouTube videos. No, instead of not watching YouTube videos, I listen to them on my way to the bus stop, for example. Something by Rhett and Link, usually. When I do have time on the bus, I put it in my headphones and I watch it, but when I'm walking, I listen to them talking about whatever they talk about, or maybe some other video. Usually, with videos on YouTube, for me at least, I have to listen to the video first because I don't have time to watch it first. And then after I listen to it, I would, on my extra time after, watch it and actually pay attention because I know, and I know that it takes a long time for people to make a quality YouTube video that they appreciate and that they like and know that other people will try to like. And with all the effort that's put into making a video, you can't just ignore the actual visual portion of it, unless something like this, in which the visual portion will not change over the course of the entire video, most likely. With the addition of being able to only do audio, which is this thing that I'm trying out, I do want to apologize for saying that I don't watch many YouTube videos. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos that are in my subscription feed, and they are usually fantastic because of all the effort that these people put into them and everything else that people use and at least try to do the best that they can to make it feel like they deserve to put this video into the world, make it public, let people, metaphorical people, or people that, hypothetical people, or people that don't exist, try to listen and watch it before, in adding that to their addition of what they think that the creator of the video is, their own version of the creator, as people know that with the different creators, you don't fully know their personality until they want to show you. You only know what people show you. Everyone does have problems within themselves that they don't want to share because they don't feel good enough to share them, or don't want to have the burden on other people, or maybe for a multitude of other reasons. But before we get into this very deep and sentimental portion of something that I'm rambling about, because sentiment is a chemical defect found in the losing side, there is one thing that's actually, this is gonna come off as hypocritical, that atoms, I don't know if I've said this before, probably I have, atoms is what you are made out of, hopefully. If you're not made out of atoms, please comment, tell me how that works. And with atoms, and below that, protons, neutrons, and quarks, and electrons, which go farther into quarks, with that is mass, which, if you have been in a science class before, you know the joke, which is actually highly true, that you have mass, you take up space, so thus you matter. And I think if you actually spend time to ponder upon this concept of you mattering purely because you take up space, not only is it a pun because science, matter, and atoms, and mass, but instead is more of a good view of humanity, as even if you don't feel like you have a self-worth or have worth to other people in the world, it would make sense that because you're in the world, there has to be a reason, because everything has a reason, if you think that way, or because you are in the world, you can be able to understand and have the capability to live in this plane of existence, because this is the only one that you currently know about. And just purely existing in this existing plane is just amazing. There are so many odds that you've probably heard about that would make it possible for you to be even on this planet, and even more odds for you to be listening to this. But that is just amazing if you think about it, how just a simple science pun en masse would make more sense just thinking about it, on how much people matter to the general universe and general populace just because they exist. And as teachers have probably told you, or someone has probably told you, that everywhere that you go would be different if you weren't there, which is sort of true. You have an impact just by existing. You are taking up space in that place, which then would have been taken up by another person had you not been there. And, you know, the heat death of the universe, and among other things, you being there does in fact change and does have an effect on other people and everything else that would otherwise either not happen if you weren't there, or would have happened without you, and thus be drastically different. Yes, you are important just by existing, and if you can find something that would give you some more self-worth, or something that would make you feel better about yourself, or something that you believe makes people like you and want you to continue doing what you're doing and being the person that you are, and that is even better. Because not only we're just existing and just mattering, but instead you are doing that and also as well giving worth, or giving some sort of value that other people will appreciate and look at. Does that make sense? Since we are all made up of atoms, and if not quarks, because even the best computers that will be created in the future would probably have like quantum computing power or something. I don't understand fully how that would work. Probably because it goes really fast, because there's not that much space for it to process. But with that, and well, you know, computers are taking up our entire lives if you think about it. You are here, well, probably, hopefully you're here, watching this video because of the quarks. Well, not purely because of the quarks, but partly because the quarks that make up you, which are even more than the atoms, are and have been created to make you be in this plane. I'm gonna keep saying plane, and have the odds of you sitting down or just walking or doing whatever you're doing, just listening to this video, because I really wouldn't be watching this. This is not something that you want to be watching, because there is no actual good video portion other than this one picture that I do believe I should be changing at some point, at least every single time, or whatever I believe to be correct, which is also something that I can think is something that other people do agree with. When you have when you have anything that you spend time on and spend your energy on, that has value just because you spent energy on it. You matter, which is a fun pun, and also very sort of, I don't know the word for what it would mean. Well, other than you mattering, you also know that everything would be boring if it was only you. And everything else in the world matters as well. Just when you have an accumulation of people, that's not a good word, but I'm going to keep using it, a population of people, you have then, if they can speak the same language and all, can only speak the same language, and have, with that, you create a culture of whatever people actually agree with, because culture is really weird. It's just what people agree on. And if everyone agrees on it to make it a culture, then how can there be outsiders? Because then they wouldn't agree with it. Because culture should be something that is either all-inclusive or mostly inclusive. If it's mostly inclusive, then it makes sense that there could be outsiders, because they would believe in a different thing, or be part of a different culture, or many cultures, subcultures. So, just by being part of this world, being part of the human populace, or maybe you're not human and you're something else. Whatever it is that you are, if you can understand the language that I'm speaking, and if you could have access to the internet and to whatever you're using to listen to this, it is amazing that everything has come together to make you, and then even farther to make you where you are now and what you have been doing and what you will do. It reminds me of a quote, sort of, from Doctor Who, when one of the characters, not gonna say the name, probably should, but I'm not going to at this moment, there are two characters, one who would give their memories, everything that they've seen, to try to satisfy someone who would only eat things that are sentimental, which makes sense if you've watched Doctor Who. And then you have another person who has one object, but declares that this object has an infinity because of another person who didn't have their time to fully live out their life, and with this other person who didn't get to fully live all of the infinity of what their life would have been. Every single possibility is in this object, and thus and then the future becomes more valuable than the past. Well, the past still has a ton of major implications in this, and it does leave you to think, what would you give if you needed to give something sentimental like that? And, well, maybe, I don't know. Well, I just want to ask you, what do you think makes you give, what would you think gives yourself or other people the most worth, or at least some worth, or just give you worth in this world, just by simply existing, or what you do, or what do you think it is? And thank you, and I will see you I'll just be there, and you will either listen to me or watch me or whatever you do in the next time that I do a thing with YouTube, maybe, or on the internet. Have a good day!